I'm curious, have you ever found yourself frustrated and exclaiming, "Help! I am always losing my images, files, content ideas"? Today, we're tackling a common problem: losing your images, files, and content ideas. This issue can cause significant frustration and inefficiency in your workflow. But don't worry, friends. I'm here to help you with 3 practical steps to fix this problem once and for all. Hey, friends, welcome back to the Content Systems for Growth podcast, where we're going to simplify your marketing and help you get organized today. Hello, my name is Michelle, and today's episode is about solving a common problem that I help so many clients with. They lose images, files, and content ideas. If you've ever felt the frustration of hunting for that one perfect image or trying to remember a great content idea that you jotted down somewhere you're just not 100% sure where, this episode is for you. We're going to cover 3 practical steps to fix this problem once and for all. So are you ready, friends? Let's dive in. I'm curious. Have you ever had this happen to you? You're ready to post that amazing blog, but you can't find the images that you created in Canva that you want to post along with it. Or maybe you have a brilliant idea for your next podcast episode, and now it's vanished from your memory. You knew you wrote it down somewhere, but you can't remember where. Does any of this sound familiar? Well, you're not alone because I have heard it before. And today I'm going to share with you 3 steps that will help you keep all your digital content organized and easily accessible. By the end of this episode, you'll have a clear strategy to ensure you will never lose your important files or ideas again. Step number 1 is to create a centralized storage system. Yep, as easy as that. So you want to figure out where you want your one centralized storage system to be. And one of the biggest reasons why we lose files and ideas is because we'll scatter them everywhere on different devices and various apps and across multiple different platforms. You know, depending on where you're at. Maybe you put something notes on your phone, or you put something, if you're at your desk, you'll just save it into a Google Doc, or you write it in your project management system, and you don't have a good system to be consistent and where you're actually putting your information. Having one single place for all your files and ideas is crucial. Even if you just have a link bank that has links to different areas, that will work as well. But when you have just one place for your storage, whether that's Google Drive, Dropbox, or OneDrive, that's all excellent for storing files. And you can go back and listen to episode 10 because I actually talk about cloud storage for content in that episode. I talk about all 3 of those different platforms for storing your information. You can also capture your ideas in Evernote. I love Notion. I'm sure I've mentioned it before. Or you can put them in Asana or your project management system that you have. Just have a idea bank inside your project management system. Once you've chosen your tool, it's time to get organized. You want to create a logical folder structure for this. And I do have a freebie that I'll go ahead and put down below in the show notes that you can download, which is organizing your Google Drive. And then I give you ideas on how to actually name your files and your folders and all of that, because I know that that's a thing. I know in the past I have searched for different ways to name files to make them sound logical to me, not only for myself, but for my clients, because we all think differently, and how I would name something is different than somebody else would want to name something. So I have a freebie that you can go ahead and download and use that. And it comes along with I think 7 emails that give you different walkthroughs or ideas on how to structure and organize as well. So that's a great resource. So I'm back. I think I left off with you want to choose your tool. Once you've chosen your tool, then you need to get organized. So it's creating those folder structures, what you want your main folder to be. And I'm just going to mention this as well. So if you have a team, you can create just one folder that's the team folder. And then you can just share that one folder with your team. And then if you have change in the people that are part of your team, you just remove them from that one location instead of having them in various different places attached to various different files. One folder that you share with everybody. I know that you can use as well, Google has the shared folder inside the Google Workspace. The only reason why I do not use that for my team personally is because of Canva. Yes, that simple reason. Because I share all of my images and copy bank and everything in Google Drive. Well, when we import that or bring in or have that connection in Canva with my Google Drive, you can't actually get to those shared folders. It only lets you get to your core or your main folders on your workspace. So that's why I've done what I've done. And that's the best way that I've found is by setting up a folder, one folder that you share with your team, and then have all your folders out off of that. And that is how I've set up several of my clients' businesses in their Google Drives as well. I remember one of my clients that I've worked with in the past, she struggled so much with file storage. And part of the reason was she had things in two different places, like two different Google Drives, like the free one at one point and the other one. And there was so much information and duplicate information because she tried to copy it over and it didn't work and it was a mess. So it was something that we sat down and went through so we could fix it, because that thing that had searching for graphics or copy or whatever it just was so frustrating. It was like countless hours of frustration. She would be crying on some of our calls because she wasn't able to find information or things in her storage. So just say, have a good system for how you store your files and have one storage location. Step number 2 is implement a regular backup routine. So yes, I know you're storing in the cloud. Probably always going to be okay. I always have my files backed up in 2 places. So I have my Google Workspace, which is where a majority of everything I have. But I also have iCloud on my Mac because I'm using a Mac. I have everything backed up to that as well. So I have all my files in 2 different places. And let's just talk about photos. Like my family photos from our kids or of our kids when they're little, I literally have those on 3 different cloud storage platforms because you don't want to lose those things. And with backups as well, I'm just going to touch on this. Like things that you can back up besides your website, because I'm sure you're doing that. You can also back up your email list where you can most email platforms. I haven't found one yet that you can't actually download your list so that you have those. I would just download those and just have them for safekeeping. You never know. Better safe than sorry. Number 3 is developing a consistent workflow for capturing your ideas. Finally, let's develop a consistent workflow for capturing all those ideas. Problem with random note taking is that, well, it's random and you're not sure where you're going to put that, right? And those lost ideas could be something, and that leads to lost ideas. Nobody wants that from themselves. I do have an episode number 55, which is capture 3 tech tools for busy online business owners, that you can go back and listen to where I talk about the different tech tools. But you can use mobile apps like your Google Keep or Trello or Asana to capture your ideas on the go. You can use voice memos or keep a dedicated notebook. I love to use the voice function with ChatGPT when I'm driving in my car by myself because you can have a back and forth conversation that's documented in there as well. Like ChatGPT is one of the things that I use probably the most in my business besides my content or my project management system and Notion. Those I use probably the most, but I love chat. Like it, and that talking functionality is huge. But the key is to have a single place where you go with all those ideas because you don't want to have multiple places. Or if you know that let's say for me, when I'm out on the road and I'm talking with chat about things, I know when I come home that I need to put that in either my idea bank for content that I'm going to write about, or if it's going to be some sort of program that I'm going to create, any of those things like core content, then I know where that needs to go. And it's always in there. So I'm not having to worry about it. And you also want to set aside time for your idea generation and capture. Maybe it's in the morning when you're drinking your morning coffee, or you just have a weekly brainstorm session, or it's the end of the week, you do an end of the week wrap up and you do things like that. I personally am a little bit more sharp at the beginning of the week with my ideas. I haven't used up all of that and energy bank throughout the week. So whatever works the best for you, and keep track too of like your energy. When do you have the most energy to create that content or create those ideas or come up with different things? Because if you're anything like me, it's going to vary throughout the month. I think I've talked about it before in my Notion journal. I'm able to track my energy in there and I can see trends. It's funny because when it comes about the full moon time, my energy is completely drained. And I don't know, is that like opposite? Like new moon, I have tons of energy. Full moon, I feel drained. So I don't know if that's the same for everybody else or if I'm a little backwards. Could be, wouldn't be surprised at all. But you can also create templates or have quick forms for recording. So create your template like in Asana. If you have the pay, you can create templates where you just click a button. Although so many times in Asana specifically, I just create a card that is my template card. And then I just copy it. I do that for so many different project management systems that I've set up. I just have the card in there and I copy it. And then I just go into that one space and copy that specific card. So it has all the information. And then I also will have that one card is where I put in like all the process. So the thing that I duplicate is where I put the process videos to record. So every time I duplicate that template, then if I have a new member on my team, they're going to be able to see all the past recordings that I've done for all the other content VAs that work with me. So anyways, I hope that's helpful as well. But you want to set aside specific time, as I said, for that idea generation and capture. I had one of my clients that I set up a content system in Trello, actually sat down to capture her ideas and put a reminder in her Trello project management system to remind her like every Friday. She needed to sit down and create at least 3 different content creations, or she would sit down and say, okay, I need to pour out for 10 minutes ideas on content that I can create. Here's a quick recap of the 3 steps to fix the problem of losing your images, your files, and your content ideas. You want to create a centralized storage system. You want to have a regular backup routine for your information. And if you can automate it, even better. You want to develop a consistent workflow for capturing your ideas so you do not lose anything at all. I hope that you found these steps helpful and you're able to start implementing them today so that you can see a difference in how organized and stress-free your content creation process feels. Remember, I do have that free resource on how to organize your digital content. So I'll put that link down below for you to listen to that. Thank you so much, friends, for listening. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful week.
Yay! Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you found this episode valuable and learned some actionable tips that you can implement in your business so that you can feel accomplished and less stressed. If you enjoyed this show, please take a quick minute to share this with your business bestie, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps me reach more business owners just like you. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future episodes, please reach out to me on my website. I've created a form just for you. Remember, with the right system and mindset, you can achieve the success your heart desires. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to chatting with you next time. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And don't forget, let's grow, friends.